Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me here. It's June 23rd. Going to be a beautiful day outside here again. I was not in my shop yesterday, so the record player has sat here for a couple of days. Could the problem with it, which I'm going to describe in just a moment, have solved itself because I put some solvents and oil into the record player? I think the easiest way I can find out without doing much is just move this lever and see if it snaps back at all. There we go. No. That would be on. Simply trigger, and then it should go back to the on, but it stays. It should come back to here. Okay, so the problem as I assess it with this record player is inside the mechanism is a plate, and the plate is riveted to a shaft. And put it this way. So a rivet is up here where my hand is. My hand is a gigantic rivet. This shaft comes down through a sleeve. This is the problem. It's stuck in the sleeve. And why is it stuck? Because original lubrication has turned into glue. Basically, it's stuck. If you grab the plate and try to move the plate will move. That's what happened when I turn this. When I push this, I am applying pressure to the plate, which should turn the shaft in the sleeve. But instead, the plate is turning on its rivet up at the top. I'm sure that was not intended, and it looks like there's no solution to allowing it to get really loose on the rivet. That doesn't look like a very good solution at all. That's kind of what's happening on its own right now. So in the past, when I've had this difficult problem of a shaft stuck in a sleeve, I've applied solvents like I have now, like I have with this one, and it seems to me it only works to loosen it up if it's already able to turn a little bit. So if you have the shaft frozen in the sleeve, just frozen in there like that, you can put all the solvents you want on the top here, they won't penetrate. If you can make that shaft turn even ever the slightest, just a little wee bit, penetration will start, and you'll probably have success at getting it loose, which is what I was hoping would happen here, but it hasn't happened. So the next stage in trying to free a shaft, I should back up a little bit, is it worth freeing the shaft? Well, yeah, if it can be done without damaging the machine, sure, it's worth doing it. The question is how to do it. This shaft is not exposed in any way, the sleeve is not particularly exposed, and there's lots of other little goodies and parts right in the same area. So applying heat. Usually I apply heat, I don't think I have it here, with a small blowtorch basically. You apply a little bit of heat with a torch, and it's not long before whatever it is that is stuck becomes loose. Once it begins to come loose a little bit, then the solvent goes in, and before you know it, you're back in business. Now the ideal thing would be to disassemble everything, take the shaft out of the sleeve, clean everything up, put it all back together. But to do that, I have to disassemble this entire record player tone arm mount underneath, and I think that would just probably lead me to another dozen issues and I don't have any experience in doing that kind of thing. I've always stayed away from it. So what are we left with? Here's what we're left with here. Okay, the other part of the story too is the record player can be made to work by simply, that was a mistake, by simply operating it in manual mode. Just turn this on a little bit, bladder turns, move the tone arm, play the record, and forsake the automatic functions. So this is not a write-off by any means. I had to take that off because it's going to fall off when I turn this upside down. Okay, so the area we are talking about is right here. Let's see if I can just bring this a little bit closer. Unfortunately, everything is black, so it's a little tricky to to light this. So the part we're talking about is this lever here. I've got my finger right on it. It's very hard to see again in the rivet is just at the tip of my finger there, my fingernail. Maybe you can see it, just a little white dot there. Let me move the control. We'll just watch this one more time. See it moving. And it should snap back at this point, right here. It should be snapping back. Now there's a spring here. You can see the spring clip coming around, and the spring, you can see a little edge of the spring down here, just sticking out a little bit. It's not a very strong spring, but this piece should be just loose, very loose, easily moved, I believe. Okay, so it looks like I can apply heat in here. I can apply, this is where the sleeve is going to be made of this metal here. I can apply heat. I get some wires out of the way. Would I apply it with a torch? Now this is a really good question. So I have two ways to apply heat here. One is with a blowtorch, and the other one is with a hot air gun. A very hot air gun, the kind of gun that can melt solder if you turn it up high enough. I think the torch is a better way. I think I can direct the heat better with the torch. I think I want to direct the heat into this. And I can do it better with the torch than I can with the hot air gun, which is just going to heat this whole thing up, which may have no consequences, or it may, I don't know. Let me get my torch and we will consider it. Okay, got my blowtorch. Really? Right now? This is the moment? Where you been all morning? You haven't been around. Listen to this guy. Yes? What do you want? Yeah, it didn't sound so good. Hey, Peanut. Peanut. Never mind that. Look over here. Good cat. Hey. What's the problem? Sounds like he's got a sore throat. Odd that it's, usually first thing in the morning. Let me out, let me out, let me outside. But he didn't do that this morning. Okay, I have to go deal with my cat a little bit. This will have to wait just a few seconds in video time. It's so nice outside, I gotta ask myself, what am I doing in here? So I'm gonna apply the torch right in this area here. You can see there's lead wires are right there. This is all quite close. So I'm gonna put in a deflector here, heat shield. It should work. Apply heat right in here, apply it to this. I'm thinking this through before I've got a torch in my hand. Don't really want to get it up here. Looks like there's a piece of material here that's not even metal. So don't get it on this. So basically shoot it right down in this area here. That's the way. That's the plan. Okay. Now, how am I going to know when I've got enough heat? When do I know? How do I know to stop? So I think I'm going to keep a little bit of pressure. They don't know when to stop. That's the problem here. Look at the smoke coming up. Oh my gosh! Did anybody see what just happened? Okay, well, I just annealed the spring. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Here's the spring. Oh my gosh, the spring changed shape. Just from a little bit of heat. get anywhere with this. Put my finger on it. And no skin burned. No snapping back. Be sure here, close-up camera so we can look right at the rivet and see if it's moving. Fat chance this has worked. This usually takes a fair bit of time to do this. Okay, can we see the rivet? See, it's moving under the rivet. The rivet is staying still. I'm not even applying pressure to the yeah, well, you know, I gave that nice speech a video or two ago about doing, you know, the longer you stand beside the road, the sooner or later you ruin a spring. Wow. Is there any tension left in that spring at all? I just was not expecting that. I really did not expect that. How can I tell? Well, you know, if this was turning freely, this spring would still retract it. The only part of the spring I seem to have affected is this part right here, this last little bit of it. So I really didn't, you know, there's a lot more spring you can't see hidden underneath here. That's still got its spring tension. Oh my gosh. You know, I should have brought my thermal viewer in here to measure the heat temperature, but I can't very well apply heat again. Look what happened. Man alive. So I'm looking at the gray metal here. I don't think that's anything happening there. So as I mentioned before, some of this metal that's gray color is unstable. Is that a crack forming through it? I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I'm out of things here. I'm out of things I can do. I really am. Let's. So let's verify the operation or lack of operation in this guy. It actually feels a lot looser. Maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe that's not a good thing. Okay, we appear to be in the neutral spot, but what I did there was I moved a small push arm that comes out and contacts the gear of the platter. It's too far forward for me to put the platter back on. Okay, we're going to test this guy. I'm not going to play it through any kind of stereo or any kind of amplifier. We're just interested in its mechanical operation or lack thereof. Plug it in. This is going into a regular outlet. So, once again, Niagara Falls is going to bear down on it. Actually, where I live, it's more likely a large nuclear plant is pushing the electricity into this. In my province, there are 3 large nuclear stations. Okay. Power's on because it's plugged in a regular outlet. Here we go. Oh, but the power in the outlet's not on. That would help. Okay, so probably it's going to activate as soon as I do this. So once again, we're going to get the slow motion of the wheel here. We're set on 33. There's no way that's turning at 33. Oh, did it speed up? Remember to take that off this time. That looks close to 33 to me. I'm going to push the lever over to initiate the automatic action. I'm going to let go of it and let it sit here, and we'll see what happens. If everything is kept over, then immediately the record player should think the record is finished. I think that's kind of what will happen here. Okay, it stayed over. Oh, my poor record. I forgot about the other problem. So the turning off is caused by the failure of that piece, the spring-loaded piece I was heating up, to snap back into its sort of neutral position. It's remaining in the trigger position. So first it triggers the start of the operation, and then it triggers it to turn off. What is going on with this? Why is this thing sticking up? Let's operate the machine here, and we will observe. Once again. Okay, we're going to go over, and only this time I'm going to pull it back a bit. Watching this. We'll just dip down, and now it's back up. So the fact that this is operated, it indicates that pushing this lever back does sort of compensate for the spring unable to move that plate. Just move it back with this. But what's the story on this guy? How come he's still up? Oh yeah, I'm looking across here. It's definitely sticking up, dragging on the record. Well, let's investigate this piece. The purpose of this is to detect a record which is not big enough to hit this lever, but it's still big enough to hit this one, hit this detector. So 12-inch, 10-inch, 7-inch, I think is the one in the middle, 7-inch over here. So you put a 7-inch record on, neither of these detectors get touched. This thing will stay up. It's not going to be pushed down. So it must be, you put the record on, this guy's pushed down, the operation comes around, at some point this push down thing triggers something. But it's supposed to stay down. It's not supposed to come up. It should come up, check, go back down. No, it can't be related. I don't think it's in any way related to this guy. Oh, what did I do? What did I do there? I guess I wheeled this a little too far. Oh, now it's going back because I didn't reset it back. This record player is really working now. Okay, it's playing the record. Now it's over. Good show. So I'm putting this into the down position, set the record player to turn off automatically. That's good. That wasn't working before. And that is sitting up. Okay. I'm going to set up a camera so we can watch this operate, put the platter in place and all that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, let's see what we can figure out about this. You can see the camera sitting here looking in this direction, up into here. And what does it see? That's what it sees. Now, I'm going to push that button, I guess I'll call it, the white button down. We'll see what parts move here, and then we'll try to track the whole thing. Figure it all out. Let's see if we can do it. Well, there we are. Actually, you can see the white button up at the top of the screen. You can see my finger. Okay. So it's coming down. It's engaging with the lever over this way a little bit. So it's rocking on that screw. I'm going to guess that's what it's supposed to do. And it's pushing something up. What is that it's pushing up? Is that a spring? That spring is what's keeping it, keeping the button up against the bottom of the record on the left side. So if that's all that is, if that's just the spring to apply spring pressure, was there more mechanism in here? What's this part, right? Oh, I gotta stick my finger under here now. What's this part, right? This thing, right here. What's this? Oh, that was a big snap. You couldn't quite see it because my fingers got in the way. I just twisted it a little bit and it snapped over. What was that all about? Where's that rod go? The rod goes all the way. Hey. That rod. So there's a spring there. I'm going to work the switch on the front that you actually turn the record player on with. No, didn't do anything. Oh my gosh, this record player's plugged in. It's going. Oh, everybody, stand clear. Didn't turn off this time. Could be because I have the tone arm locked down. Oh, what was that? Okay, so what happened there up above was the tone arm was locked down. I unlocked it and I lifted it slightly and you heard that snap of something operating. Operating or breaking, Jim? Operating. It stayed on. So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna initiate the automatic function here. Okay, I pushed it back also. Tone arm, the overarm is up. Okay, tone arms come over. Oh, it's playing the record now. Oh, now it's going back. Probably because the control lever is stuck and it's going to play another record. So it's caught in the cycling mode. You can see it happening up here on top. Just to make it clear what's going on. And of course, now it won't do it. Yeah, come on. Okay, I'll make it. I'll try to make it go. Here it goes. Okay. Let's see if it shuts off. No, not that time anyway. Let's try again. Okay, this time I bet you it'll shut off. Here we go. And it shut itself right off. I guess I brought the overarm down too late in the cycle for it to trigger. Now what about that white thing? Looks like it's. I tell you, something I've noticed about this white thing is, you see the sides are a little bit kind of marked up and dirty, but the top looks polished clean. This thing has been rubbing on records for a long time, and it's actually worn down the top of it a little bit. That's why it's so bright and clean. Or maybe it's just my record that's done that too. Once again, like it's just barely up. Get a better shot of it this way. Got a funny angle on it also, like the way it's worn. Is it an angle or is that actually straight? Can't work my fingers looking in the camera. I'm sure that's contacting the record. Okay, let me throw a record on top there. We'll just be absolutely sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's in contact. Okay, so it looks like it's pushed up by a spring, which is pushing the other end of its lever down. And I'd have to guess there's got to be more to this mechanism than, and then there's this thing that I pushed. It was just a lubrication issue in this area. What is that lever? I never did figure it out, because as soon as it snapped, I got all excited about it. I was turning. It's this. Okay, so you know what this is? This is the. This is this guy. Where'd he go? So it's pulling on the spring and trying to move this rod. This rod is being pulled on a spring, and that gets us back to this lever. So with a spring there, you could pull on the spring, and if the thing that's supposed to move doesn't move, the spring will just stretch. Let me get all the way down here with my hand. There it is. There's that snap again. It's a very healthy sounding snap. Wow. So I'm trying to avoid turning this upside down on my bench to look at it more closely, because when it's upside down, it really won't operate properly. Everything in here is nice and loose. Where are we going here? Yeah, everything's nice and loose, but not this thing here. Son of a gun. Okay, so I see the lever moving something in behind there. You can see a little bit. The lever's moving very freely. So why does it snap like that? Let's look from the other side here. What's all this? This must be where the snap release is occurring in this area. More light. Okay, let me take the record off and start by pushing the little white plunger. I don't think it's going to do anything over there. No. So I get back under. Where? Hang on a sec here. Right here. Okay, this is it here. So this whole great big plate here, my other hand. Somehow I can't get it in the picture. The whole plate here is moving. This whole plate. This whole plate here, this thing, it's going to move. So I'm going to pull the plug before I really get a surprise. And I am going to be the motor, but I'm going to turn the platter myself up here. I am now turning the platter. Oh, we're engaged. Well, that's interesting. Look what happens. That lever kind of comes out in the clear. That thing. Better focus on it here. Just a second, let me just sharpen the focus if I can. No, that automatic focus has something else in mind. Okay, there we are. Okay, turning the little thing. Would this be the point where it would snap back? As soon as that opening shows up. Is that really an opening? Let me change the camera angle here a little bit. Oh, it's really jammed in there. No, it's nowhere near that opening. It can only go up so high and only go down so low before it hits something. Appears to hit something. Okay, going to turn the platter further. The tone arm is up in the air here. I'm turning it very, very slowly. Tone arm still straight up in the air. And looks like we're going to make it. Tone arm still lifting. Now the platter's gotten tough to turn. Really tough right here. Right here. Tough as can be. Oh, I just hear something click. You know what the toughness is? The toughness is this weird spring, which you can't see. Actually, we can see it. And that, there's another click. Oh, this is totally jammed up now. How come? Now it's not. Oh boy. This is not going well. I've looked at many, many record players. Never figured them out 100%. Okay, we're almost all the way around. Needle's coming over the record. At this point, it's right over the record. Now it's going down. And I have to let go of this camera here. I need my hand. Because I don't want the needle to touch the platter. So it's going down. Camera's going down. You know what I can do here. Okay. I've protected the needle. So I can continue turning. That's not the needle dragging. That was unusual. Some spring was releasing and kept the platter turning. Okay, so it's playing the record now. Playing along. Now I'm going to move the tone arm like about 3/4 of the way through a record. I'm going to watch for something start moving under there. Anytime now, something should start moving. Only in one direction. And nothing moving. Okay, so I'm definitely over where it should trigger the record. There's nothing happening. I'm swinging the arm back and forth. Right at the back there, you can see something going on. What's that? What's that little guy? Well, that's interesting. Now I'm going back and forth, so there's a clutch action on that part. So we're back on the stand, tone arm on the stand, tone arm starting, coming across, coming across, coming across, the record reaching the end of the record. Oh, it must be bumping into something we can't see. It's right actually, any forward motion drags that piece. Any forward motion drags it. And you can't really see what I'm doing. But every bit of forward motion, right from the stand, right off the stand, will pull that piece forward. I wonder what it does. I don't know. Make as many observations as possible upside down like this. Once again, I'm spinning the platter and nothing's happening because it's properly disengaged. Okay, let me spin it up a little bit, get some momentum in it. Okay, here we go. That just came to a screeching halt here. So I've triggered the mechanism. I think I have. I have not succeeded in triggering the mechanism. Let me try it again. Okay, let go of the camera here for a minute. Here, let me switch cameras. I could do the dual camera thing maybe. Maybe that would be a good idea. This isn't turning free. I don't think. Okay, here we go. This is over. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. What is going on? The way I protected the needle, by the way, is I simply put this into like a 0 spot, so this hits instead of the needle hitting. It's not the greatest. Well, it's completely bonkers now. Why are you doing this to me, record player? I can't believe it. I hate this when you're trying to move forward and you keep feeling like you're going the other direction. Okay, I've plugged it in, obviously. Looks like it's spinning at 33 right away. How come it's not active? How come it's not doing its thing? Put this back. That's off. You heard the switch click. That's the electrical switch clicking. Now we're ready to engage. Engage, Sulu. Sulu. Yes, I'm standing by that highway getting hit by car after car after car. You'd think I'd be smart enough to get off the highway. But somehow I think if I just stay here longer, the solution will come. Is it this thing being up? How can this muck everything up? What exactly did I do that would... I mean, I guess it's possible to get the mechanism into a state it's not supposed to be in because you're moving levers when they're not supposed to be moved. But generally, my experience is if that should happen, one revolution and it's all back, you know, it's rebooted. It's a mechanical reboot. I started out today at one point demonstrating that you could operate this, you know, manually by doing this and then just pushing this back to the neutral spot. Can't do that now. What the heck? I don't think I did anything to it. That's the problem here. And I'd undo whatever I did. What did I do? I unsprung a spring. Oh my gosh. And the sun shines outside beckoning me to abandon this and go outside. Oh, see what's happening here? I'm losing my cool. Or as they would say in Australia, I'm losing my religion. This seems to operate differently when I take the platter off, and I can't see any possible reason for that. And with the platter off, the mechanism really can't operate. You need the platter to drive the mechanism. Hey, you know what? You know what I just realized? I never put the locking piece on here. Just don't think that's going to make a difference, but let's put it in because it changed the ever so slightly the position of the raceway here. I'll now apply my dangerous technique. What makes this dangerous is if it doesn't go well, the E-clip can go flying through my shop to parts unknown. That didn't happen. Now, could that possibly affect this operation? I don't believe it. But because I'm at my wit's end, I don't know what else to check. Let's check it. Could that possibly be really what was the problem here? Where'd the centerpiece go? Not that I need it, but let's put it on. Okay, I'm gonna plug it in, and can't imagine that's going to make a difference, but there we go. Okay, well, got the mechanism going, but should come over and try playing again. You know what? This thing looks like it relaxed properly. Okay, let's we gotta stop. Stop this. Stop it, man. Stop. Switch off. Okay, so at this moment this is up. But did I see it go down? Okay, back on. How can I do this without? I wish I had a clear record. That would help. Well, we can rely on the sound of my record being damaged. I could get a record I don't care about and damage it. I think I'm just going to watch it. Let's watch it with the camera because I think we can figure out if it's getting up too high or what it's doing. Let's watch what it's doing. Can I put this guy where we can see it? That's actually not too bad. If I put it actually sideways. We should be able to see if it's popping up above. So I don't see it. I would say it's exactly the height of a record right now. Okay, we're going to operate the record player. I got the camera right beside. Oh, I'll switch cameras so you can see what happens here. Not sure this is going to prove too much. You can't see the white thing. It's just out of sight there. So you see that suggests it's below. Right? There we go. Okay, watching for the white thing. Okay, you know what happened there? I got this set so it doesn't think there's any records to play. Let me redo this. I don't like this arrangement too much. I'd rather see it like that. That's better. Okay, fire one. Ooh, did you see it take a look? It took a look there. But when it relaxed, I almost swear I could just bend it down a little lower. Oops, this keeps going. Let's watch again. Nope, takes a look, but it doesn't relax back far enough. Sure, looks close. Hey, maybe it's corrected itself. It's up a little bit there. You know what would work? Put a thicker mat on top of the platter. Raise the record. See, it stayed up there. Okay, I gotta stop the record player here. I just hit the stop button. Let me finish off the mechanism. So, ow, can't. Hang on here. Bring the overarm down. Drop the camera. There we are. Okay. The record player is now in its neutral position, or off position if you like. Drop a record on there. I think the camera's going to interfere with the record. Yeah, definitely. We see from here, there's a good view. There's an excellent view. Okay, we'll turn the record player on. Not a lot of clearance, but it's clear. Record player Record's definitely down. Everything's normal. Okay, auto function. Auto function engaged. No contact. No contact. Oh, the tow arm was caught on the camera. And I couldn't. What? Anybody see anything? Anybody see anything happen there? Did it check? There, checked right there. That's really rude, isn't it, when you think about it? This is how they made these things. They come up and bash your record. Pow! Now that's supposed to restrict it from coming up. And that restriction, the record restriction. Oh, so that was just that sound. That was just that thing hitting the, trying to play the record with the needle arm. Okay, it looks like it's off now, doesn't it? Got a little bit of scratch. Now, this time the record player is going to shut off. Still checks, but that's, it's not the smartest mechanism in the world. Well, it's clear of the record now. What'd they do? Just the power of observation. Oh, that's what it is. This is some kind of physics event going on here where when you observe something, you cause it to change. It's actually not actually true, by the way. Well, let's go top side. And let's see what happens here. It appears to be okay suddenly. I don't like that kind of thing. Let me put the needle back. Okay, motor on. Mechanism engaged. Mechanism button left in its position. So because it stayed over, it just basically went from start to reject. And now we'll do the same thing, only this time I will return this by hand. I didn't hear the record getting smashed by the checking button there. Here we go. You're on. You're back. Is that back far enough? I don't think that went back very far. No, it didn't go back far enough. It's got to go back. Got to go back farther. Try again. So we're kind of learning a alternate operating technique for this record player. Here we go again. We start it. We return it to this position. Actually, it's straight like this. And it still doesn't want to work. You're a monster. You're a monster. Why wouldn't it work that time? I didn't return it quick enough? Did I not return it quick enough? Seemed to me the return occurs kind of late in the revolution. Okay, on. Could do this at a higher speed and make this happen faster. Over and back. It just couldn't be any faster than this. I don't think. Oh my gosh, it's going to play now. And if we come over here, will it do its proper ending? Not skipping, is it? Is it skipping in perfect unison with the music? I think it is. That's another problem. should shut off. So it's successful operation almost by manually operating this quickly. Try one more. Try one more. There we go. Okay, on. Trigger, back. Okay, you're gonna have to push this back. There's a bump in the feeling of it. Okay, playing. Getting to the end again. What I'm doing is I'm trying to, this is a little bit hard to explain. As the tone arm swings this way, back under here, there's a lever that comes into contact with something. Something comes into contact with something somewhere in this area of the record. And as the tone arm continues, it pushes this thing. Pushes it, until finally the other end engages with the mechanism, the trigger system here in the middle. In some record players, you can feel the point at which the tone arm begins to push this thing, because there's some force required. You can feel it if you're really, really careful. So I think I'm feeling it, and I pushed it a little too far. The thing about it, if you do feel it, you push it. Next time you feel it, it's going to be further. And you got to be very light. I mean, the whole idea is this is designed so the tone arm can't feel this part of the mechanism. The way the mechanism operates in here, most record players, very loose pieces of metal, not lubricated. It's not depending on lubrication. They're just very loose in there. And these are the pieces that if you have it upside down, may not be in the right position to operate. So you need to have it right side up to try to operate. So that's where I'm going to end today. I'm going to end today knowing that you can play a record, requires manual operation. Okay, you have to do this to make it go. So now you have to do this and that. Is it that big a deal? I don't think so. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. The end of the world will be this thing not working now. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'll stop at this point. I'll settle with this the way it is right now. We'll set it aside, go back to the receiver, and start replacing a lot of capacitors in the receiver. We know the record player can play a record. There's two ways it can play a record. One is manual, total manual. Just turn it on and it's spinning, and just pick this over and put it on there. I think even under those conditions, when you get to the end of the record, it will still trigger the off function. Hey, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, I'm almost done, but not quite. Okay, so now it's in manual mode. I could play this anywhere, but as I get towards the end, maybe I'll try feeling that piece again. You can hear it. Hear that little click? Yeah, I don't think that's it. Well, if you can feel it, it's very minimal. Okay, we'll put this on. Is it stuck again? No. One of the reasons it might start skipping towards the end is when it tries to push that rod. The rod is too heavy for it. Something's wrong, and the tone arm stops advancing because you're actually blocking its advance. Well, it would appear to be I'm wrong about the automatic function at the end here. Let me rudely operate it. Son of a gun, I just tell you, man. This is really... this is an annoying pile of weirdness. Well, it looked like it wanted to shut off, but didn't. Was that because I fooled around with it on the way over there? I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that, or I'll be in here too long. So thanks a lot for watching. I wish this was a little more, here's the problem, here's the solution, there you go. But that doesn't happen in my shop. A lot of the time it's here's the problem, here's the first solution that doesn't work. Here's the second solution that doesn't work. Oh well. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching. And like I said, tomorrow I'll go to the receiver just to stay away from this thing for a few days and work on that. See ya.